Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas, thanks for joining. There's plenty happening in the whole world of the trade free agency movement at the moment. We saw a couple of deals go through today. Before we get to the whole Perryman thing, St Kilda have received pick 8 as compensation for Josh Battle. Now, I am sorry, but you must be extracting the fucking urine from my catheter bag right now because haven't got a catheter bag, but that's just taking the piss. He's not pick 8. If Josh Battle is worth pick 8 in any compensation thing that the AFL is doing, right, then we should get rid of Jordan De Goey for the first fucking 5 rounders in the draft, because that's just taking the fucking mickey out of everything, right? That I don't get it. Anyway, Perryman's at Collingwood. Collingwood posted a video about 45 minutes ago from when I'm doing this now. So by the time I posted it, could be like an hour and a half or whatever, but an hour and a half ago. But they've posted a video on Perryman in his Collingwood gear. He's met the boys. He's spoken about how he's been a Collingwood supporter and stuff like that. So it was nice to see. The talk is it's $1.2 million for the first season, and then it sort of tapers off, so the deal's heavily front-ended, which I think Collingwood's got more space in the salary cap than people actually can understand. We've got to remember too, the payments, the payments for Adam Treloar to the Dogs have stopped. We're still paying the Grundy contract, and the Tom Mitchell payments from Hawthorn finish now. So this was the first 2 years. I think they were paying a few $100,000 of his contract, and so he's now fully on our books. So the Pies have really, if you think about who we're going to lose over the next couple of years, or in the next 24 months, we're going to lose Sidey, Pendles, Howe, Mason Cox. There's a lot of money there that's opened up. I really think in the next couple of years, potentially even next year, we are going to go for a massive fish. So keep an eye out on who's a restricted free agent, whatever. But Collingwood's going to go for someone massive probably in 12 months' time. So this is one to definitely watch. Anyway, Perryman's done. GWS get compensation pick number 16, which means with Battle being pick number 8, which is the biggest fucking piece, that's just fucked, and Perryman going now getting pick 16, I'm pretty sure that pushes our first pick at the moment as it stands like 35. So we really, really, really need to try and focus on getting the best that we can from this John Noble deal. I would also now, knowing about the compensation picks and seeing how stuff's sort of trying to make its way in order, I would probably now be like, hey, you give Joe Richards to Port Adelaide and let's facilitate a trade there and try and get some picks in, or even bundle it up with the whole Dan Houston thing. Now, can we just touch on the Dan Houston thing? I don't think he's coming to Collingwood. I think it's going to be either Carlton or North Melbourne. Now, I think he's shot himself in the foot here a little bit, because he's turned around and he said stuff about, I want to go home to Victoria, blah, blah, blah. That's fine, but you got to keep your options open. And if North Melbourne come knocking, which I hope they do, because you just don't want Carlton to get Dan Houston because he makes them a much better team, then I do think then he has to go to North. But I think Carlton are working out something in the background, which is going to be really, really, really shit if it happens. But it's a wait and see. Now, you can fuck all that bullshit off, and let's talk about some more Collingwood news. So, Matt Kennedy rumour is getting bigger. The Matt Kennedy rumour is getting a lot stronger at the moment. Apparently, he's toured Collingwood's facilities and all this jargon. If Matt Kennedy is going to come to Collingwood, it means a couple of things, and they're not all necessarily good things. One, it means that there's doubt over Tom Mitchell, that he's not going to get up, his foot's still fucked or whatever, and they're going to think, you know what, let's get him in. We've got Perryman, yep, that's great. Let's get him in and see what happens. If Tom Mitchell's foot is okay and Collingwood believe, look, we're probably only going to get one more season out of Mitchell, let's get Kennedy in, where does that leave Kennedy? Because, to be honest, Kennedy's at the point now where he's like 27, 28, I think. He's at the peak of his football powers. He's not going to get any better than what he is now. And he's a pretty decent player. He's too good to play in Collingwood's VFL team. He has to play. Where does he play? I've got this feeling that, and I said in my last couple of videos, I think it's off. Not that I don't want him, but it's not going to happen. This is that. We got Perryman. If it does happen, much to my what the fuck, right? He has to play the first season on the halfback. He has to go down to halfback. But then that burns players like Jacob Ryan and other younger players who are trying to get into the side, which you can probably cop that on the chin. But if Tom Mitchell's fighting fit, he's probably going to play, right? Now, I posted in my last video with the Collingwood Best 23 or whatever it was, I didn't have him in there. Now, if you were to do that now in this video, I'd put Kennedy, if we're going to get him, straight onto the half-back line. And then I'd probably take out someone like an Ed Allen and then put somebody else on the bench and rotate it that way. That's the only way that I could see it working. Now, I think Collingwood is, if we're in the market for Matt Kennedy, we are thinking not only next year, we are thinking the year after that and the year after that and probably the next 4 seasons. What can we get out of this player? Yes, he's a recycled player, but you know what? Sometimes players go to a new home and it's a new environment and they just flourish. I'm more than happy to have him. I just don't see it, and I've said this in previous videos, I don't see how you can have players like Tom Mitchell and Matt Kennedy on the same list of football. It's crazy. But if the club thinks that it can work and that they can manage it and that they're doing it where it's like, hey, listen, you're going to play here for a season, but, you know, who gets first preference? I don't know. They could turn around and say, listen, we don't think Mitchell's going to get a game. This is what they could be thinking. We don't think Mitchell's going to get much of a run this year. He's under an injury cloud. We need Matt Kennedy in. Great. Then perfect. That's perfectly fine. You can put him in there. I'm just confused, and I want to know from other Collingwood supporters, what do you think about this? Because this is a really big talking point, and I think it's going to gain a bit of traction. Now, it could turn out that he could go somewhere else by tonight, by tomorrow, by this time next week. He could be on the other side of the country playing for West Coast or Fremantle, right? But there's been that, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been that talk about him coming to Collingwood and Collingwood looking for another inside midfielder. I just want to know what you guys think, you know? So I'm probably going to leave this video here. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's just like there's a lot happening now with the trades and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff going on with like Clayton Oliver into Geelong, and apparently there's shit happening there. Copeland Trophy's on tonight, I believe. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with all that. So if other content creators are doing stuff, make sure you get on and watch it so you can get all your Collingwood information from them. Everyone's doing an awesome job. There is one thing I do want to say. I'm going to come up with a segment now. I'm going to do it once a week, and I'm not going to set times for it or whatever. I'm going to do a live stream with a supporter from another team once a week, just some opposition watch, and we can see what they're thinking. It'll be a mate of mine. It'll be another content creator from another team, and it'll just be bang, we're on, no introduction or anything like that, just straight to it, countdown clock, it starts, and then we can be on for 15, 20 minutes, and we could be asking questions about each other's side and stuff. I don't know, just something there to keep an eye on. I'll get some other Collingwood supporters onto, and we can do some live. So if you think that you want to jump on, if you think that we'll do a live and we can get on for a few minutes, and I won't do like a few people one night. So one person one night will get on and we'll get on. We'll have a bit of a chat. If you are interested in doing any of that type of stuff, please drop me a comment, or you know what, go onto the Instagram page. All right, go onto the Instagram page, give us a follow, right, and we'll have a chat. You also have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. And then we can have a bit of a chat, and I just love hearing other people's opinions because one opinion opens up to another, and we can talk about anything and everything Collingwood related. To opposition supporters, we can also talk about Collingwood, we could talk about your team or whatever, but I like the interaction side of things. So if you're interested, give us a bell, drop a like, drop a comment, follow my Instagram page. I want to get that up. I'm almost at 200 subscribers on YouTube as well. So share this with all your mates and your family and stuff, and we'll go from there. Call it as you see it. Go the fucking Pies.